What's up, Glowline fam? Get ready because we're diving headfirst into the biggest stories making waves right now. First up, Governor Greg Abbott is firing a warning shot after a TikTok user mocked conservative activist Charlie Kirk's death at Texas Tech. We've got the details on Abbott's FAFO warning and the investigation into inappropriate posts about Kirk's assassination. Next, the ripple effects of Charlie Kirk's tragic death are hitting Oklahoma, where the Republican Party chair is calling for a state holiday to honor him, drawing comparisons to Martin Luther King Jr. We'll explore the surprising push to commemorate Kirk and the potential political implications. Then, we're heading to the national stage as Vice President JD Vance weighs in on the fallout, telling people to report those who celebrate Charlie Kirk's death to their employers. We'll look at the firings, the free speech debate, and the impact on professionals across various fields. And finally, a moment of unexpected emotion from Hollywood. Jamie Lee Curtis got visibly upset on the WTF podcast discussing Charlie Kirk's death, calling him a father, husband, and man of faith, despite her strong disagreements with his ideas. We'll unpack her heartfelt, tearful reaction and the broader Hollywood response. That's all for now, but make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Governor Abbott issues a stark warning after a disturbing incident at Texas Tech. Following the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk, tensions flared on the Texas Tech campus when a woman was seen mocking a memorial. Governor Greg Abbott took to X, formerly Twitter, to repost a video of the woman being arrested, issuing a potent warning using the internet acronym FAFO, which stands for Expletive Around and Find Out. This strong statement signals Abbott's zero-tolerance approach to public disrespect following Kirk's death. The Texas Education Agency is also actively investigating over 180 complaints against public school staff for allegedly posting inappropriate comments about Kirk's assassination. State Education Secretary Mike Morath emphasized that while free speech is a right, it does not permit celebrating violence or sowing discord against those with differing beliefs. The T is examining these posts for potential violations of the Educator Code of Ethics, indicating serious repercussions for any staff found to have engaged in sanctionable conduct. This situation has ignited a fierce debate about the boundaries of free speech, online behavior, and accountability in the wake of a high-profile political figure's death. Public reaction has been swift and divided, with many supporting Abbott's firm stance and the T's investigation, while others raise concerns about potential overreach and the chilling effect on open discourse. Don't go anywhere, because the fallout from Charlie Kirk's assassination is sparking even more unexpected conversations. Next, we're heading to Oklahoma for a truly shocking proposal that will make you question everything. A surprising movement is gaining traction in Oklahoma to honor the late conservative activist Charlie Kirk. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's assassination, the Oklahoma Republican Party's chair, Charity Lynch, has proposed establishing a state holiday in his honor, drawing a parallel to civil rights icon Martin Luther King Jr. Lynch stated that Kirk stood for freedom, and his death sparked something not just in our nation, but our world, and believes his commemoration is comparable to that of other civil rights activists. State Representative Gabe Woolley has expressed support for the initiative, noting Kirk's significant contributions to society and his impact on college campuses. While discussions about a state holiday haven't reached the legislative floor yet, Woolley anticipates it will remain a significant conversation. Unlike federal holidays, state holidays typically do not grant time off for most employees, but the Republican Party sees it as a meaningful way to commemorate Kirk. The proposal has sparked considerable debate, with many questioning the comparison to MLK Jr., and others supporting the call to honor Kirk's legacy. While the Democratic Party has not yet responded, the push for a Charlie Kirk holiday highlights the deep divisions and strong sentiments surrounding his life and death. But the controversy doesn't stop there. The repercussions are reaching the highest levels of government. Get ready for Vice President JD Vance's bold stance on holding those accountable for celebrating Kirk's death. Vice President JD Vance is calling for decisive action against those who publicly celebrate the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Speaking on The Charlie Kirk Show, Vice President Vance urged listeners to call them out, and hell, call their employer if they celebrate Kirk's death, emphasizing a belief in accountability and civility. This statement comes amid a wave of firings and suspensions of employees, including pilots, medical professionals, teachers, and Secret Service agents, for social media posts deemed insensitive or celebratory of Kirk's assassination. Vance argued that left-wing Americans are more prone to defending political violence, stating, "There is no civility in the celebration of political assassination." His remarks echo sentiments from other Republican lawmakers, such as Florida Congressman Randy Fine, who called for individuals to be thrown out of civil society, and South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who urged the Department of Education to cut funding to institutions with staff making insensitive posts. The debate over cancel culture and free speech is intensifying as employers exercise broad discretion in terminating employees, particularly under at-will employment contracts. The public reaction is sharply divided. While many support holding individuals accountable for celebrating violence, critics argue these firings threaten free speech and employee protections. Legal experts note that free speech protections under the Constitution generally don't apply to private employers. However, some, like Risa Leibowitz from Cornell University, suggest that public figures calling for such accountability might infringe upon free speech rights, reflecting the heated political climate. From political pronouncements to workplace consequences, the impact is undeniable. Prepare for a surprising emotional moment from Hollywood as Jamie Lee Curtis grapples with Charlie Kirk's tragic end. Hollywood actress Jamie Lee Curtis became visibly emotional discussing the assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. On Mark Maron's WTF podcast, Jamie Lee Curtis struggled to hold back tears as she spoke about Charlie Kirk's death. Despite admitting she disagreed with his ideas, calling them abhorrent, Curtis emphasized her belief that Kirk was a father, husband, and man of faith. She expressed hope that he felt connected to his faith in his final moments, underscoring a shared humanity even amidst deep political divides. Curtis also touched upon the psychological impact of constant exposure to violence, referencing the 9/11 attacks and the circulation of videos depicting Kirk's assassination. She questioned the long-term effects of witnessing such graphic imagery repeatedly. Her raw emotional response resonated with many, including fellow Hollywood figures like Jimmy Kimmel, who posted on Instagram condemning the violence and sending condolences to Kirk's family, stating, "Can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human?" The public response to Curtis's heartfelt, albeit tearful, commentary has been varied. While some praised her for showing empathy and a commitment to civility, others questioned her emotional display given her strong opposition to Kirk's political views. This moment highlights the complex emotional landscape surrounding political polarization and the personal impact of violence, even across ideological lines. That's a wrap on today's explosive headlines. But don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more, and ring that notification bell. Wow, what a whirlwind. We saw Governor Greg Abbott issue a stern FAFO warning after the Charlie Kirk incident at Texas Tech. Then, the Oklahoma Republican Party surprisingly proposed a state holiday for Charlie Kirk, comparing him to MLK Jr. Vice President JD Vance called for accountability, urging people to report those celebrating Kirk's death to employers. And finally, Jamie Lee Curtis got emotional on a podcast, remembering Charlie Kirk as a father, husband, and man of faith despite political disagreements. Don't miss out on future updates. Hit that like button, subscribe to Glowline, ring the notification bell, drop a comment below, and follow us on all our social channels.